So today is the weekend, and I have made a promise to myself that I am going to work a little harder over the weekend to make my weeknights a little bit easier. And that is what this video is all about. It is about getting things prepped for the weeknight that dinner can get on the table even if I have a busy schedule. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying a new recipe on top of it that I want to share.
Hey guys, Brenda here. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to Sewing Back. So you may be wondering, what am I doing? Why am I using salad dressings as a marinade? Especially these are pretty pricey dressings. And that is because when I was cleaning out my pantry, they're fixing to go out of date. And there's no way we're gonna eat that much salad to use those up. So I decided to use them as a marinade on my pork tenderloins I picked up from Costco. And I'm prepping them now to make for easy dinners. This month has been so tough on me to get dinner on the table because I have activities and things going on in the evenings on top of work. And so I'm trying to prep things. So my next thing to prep, what I ended up doing is this is a Honeycrisp apple vinegar rat. I actually thought I'd bake some apples with that. And that would be a tasty dinner with, I don't know, I'll come up with sides. I can pull a side together really quick. This one is a balsamic pork tenderloin. I've done something similar to that before. I think I'm going to do the apple one because I have some apples left that I can bake. So I think I'm going to leave this one out for this week. I'm going to put the other one in the freezer, so maybe I can pull that out next week and use it, or the week after. And the next thing is to go ahead and pre-cook ground turkey with some onion and red bell pepper, so that we can have, what I want to do, I'm trying to see how much I have. This is 3 pounds. So I'm just going to pre-cook it. I don't know yet if I'm going to use it for a taco or if I'm going to use it. I was thinking about using it for chili for Halloween. I have a big party that day at the senior center, and I thought if I already have this done, then everything's just dumping in because I use my canned tomatoes, and then I've got canned beans and all that. So that's what I'm thinking. So I have some onion, some red bell pepper, and the ground turkey. So I'm fixing to cook that up. And then for dinner tonight, I'm actually going to do a creamy chicken with chantilly mushrooms. They have them at Costco right now. They're kind of pricey, so it was kind of a splurge, but I got a really good deal on the chicken thighs at Whole Foods. I was there the other day picking up something, and they had them on sale. They had those and chicken legs on sale, so I picked up the thighs. So we're gonna have that for dinner, and I'm gonna make a mock cauliflower mashed potato. And I have green beans I canned up, and one of my cans did not quite seal right, so I'm gonna heat those up, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. So I'm just trying to pay it forward to myself to help myself out so that maybe it'll be a little bit easier for me to get dinner on the table in a timely fashion. So that's what we're doing, and I thought I'd bring you along. So we've got the pork done. I need to get it labeled, and then we're gonna cook up this ground meat. But the main part is I'm gonna show you how I make this recipe. This is a new recipe to me I found. It had good reviews. The cauliflower, the mock mashed potato cauliflower, or cauliflower mash, I can't remember how they worded it, but that one is from Food TV. So it had really good reviews. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the cauliflower going. So because you need to cook it for 6 minutes on your stove. So John had to step out to get me some white wine because I needed white wine for the chicken recipe, and I don't have any. So he ran to Aldi's to see what they had. So anyway, I thought I'd bring you along for this because you might want to make this recipe. And we'll see what we think. So come on.
So first I'm going to get my bell peppers chopped up, my onions chopped up. This is how I make turkey tacos, and this is also how I make chili. So that's why I was kind of on the fence about whether this is going to be turkey tacos or chili. And I was thinking it would be chili for Halloween because that's typically what we do. But my kids came home and they all wanted tacos instead. So that's what it ended up being. So now what I'm doing is I did some more chopping of red onion and or not red onion, onion and red bell pepper along with some cooked bacon I had, and that's what I cooked with my green beans to kind of doctor them up. And now I am prepping the chicken with chanterelle mushrooms and a cream sauce. And you start out by searing your chicken on both sides. And it called for some garlic powder. And I didn't have garlic powder, but I have this black garlic powder. And I got this at my friend's olive oil and vinegar shop that I've talked about before here on the channel. I can link their shop in the description in case you want to give it a look. And I put that on it with a little bit of salt. I put a little bit of avocado oil in my pan. And now I'm just going to well, not saute, but I'm going to sear my chicken up, and I'm getting ready. John had to go get me some white wine because you need a little white wine in this recipe. This recipe also calls for some heavy cream and fresh thyme. Now, I didn't have any fresh thyme. We had like a little frost a few weeks ago, and that kind of some of my herbs were taken aback by that, and so I didn't have any fresh thyme, but I had dry thyme, so I used that instead, and it was still amazing. So it'll work. Typically, if you're doing a dry spice, you may want to reduce it a little bit than if you were using a fresh spice. And and this was just a super easy meal to pull together. And it's a meal that will go into our rotation because we loved it. Matter of fact, that night I had three, I believe it was three of my four boys home, and nothing was left. Not one bite. It all got eaten. And so we really enjoyed this meal. And so this recipe, you do want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. And I had already pat dry my chicken thighs, and these did have the skin on them and they did have a bone. But you could totally use a skinless, boneless chicken thigh or even breast if that's what you wanted. We typically just like dark meat better, and I had these were on sale, and so that's what I went with. As a matter of fact, the original recipe called for chicken legs, so you could do this with a chicken leg as well. The next part of this is after you've seared your chicken on both sides, you're going to remove it from the pan, from your skillet. You're going to keep your skillet on that medium-high heat, and you're going to add in your mushrooms. Now, if you don't have the chanterelle mushrooms, that's totally fine. You could do this with any kind of mushroom. I will say these were really good, but I would just say if you were doing the other, you would want to probably slice up or chop up your mushrooms. Um, and probably into like bite-sized pieces, and that would probably work really well. Um, you also, once you start sauteing your mushrooms in the same pan, you can add your thyme and some salt to taste, and you're going to let those saute for a few minutes, and then you're going to add in some white wine, and you're going to cook it probably for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you add in your cream. And I actually put a little dried parsley on it to get a little bit of color. And you just stir it, and then you put your chicken back into the skillet, and then you're going to want to transfer that into an typically, if your skillet was large enough. I actually should have used my larger skillet when I did this. My skillet was too small for when I was going to add everything back in, so I actually transferred it to another pan to cook in the oven. But this is one that you totally could have done in the same pan. This was just my fault. I should have used my larger skillet. And so I put it into a different pan, and then I pour my sauce over it, and I put it, you transfer it inside the oven because it's not fully cooked at this point. You've got to make sure that your chicken gets up to that 165 temperature, Fahrenheit, for safety. Okay, so never eat a poultry product below 165. And this takes, depending on if you're using bone-in chicken or if you're using a skinless, boneless chicken, this could vary. For me, it took about 20 minutes to finish this up in the oven, and it was just such a treat. I mean, it was just that good. And so the next part of this that we end up doing is our mock garlic mashed potatoes. And so mock is the key word there. And this is made with cauliflower, with like it says it calls for a head, one medium head of cauliflower. I actually had gotten one of the bags. I think it's like, thought it was like 32-ounce bag at Costco where it's just the florets you can get and it's organic. And so I cooked those for about 6 minutes. I brought them to a boil until the cauliflower was tender, and then I drained that off. And then what you're going to end up adding to that is 1 tablespoon of cream cheese softened, a fourth of a cup of grated Parmesan. You're going to need half of a teaspoon of minced garlic, 1/8 of a teaspoon of straight chicken base or bouillon. I actually use chicken stock for mine. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and half a teaspoon of chopped or fresh chives for garnish, and I use dry in mine. And then you're going to want about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Unless you prefer salted butter, you could do whatever. Just if you do the salted butter, make sure you cut down on how much salt you're putting into this. I ended up using my immersion blender to make this nice and creamy. And then I kind of did a separate step by putting it into a baking dish, and I put a little more Parmesan on it, and I put it in the oven so that it could finish cooking with my chicken. And so now I'm moving to another dinner prep because I was cooking dinner and prepping for the week. And this one was a chicken and apple sausage with peppers and onions. I also cut up a cabbage. And so this was a whole nother meal that was prepped for my week. And let me tell you, I am so thankful I did this. It just made life so much easier this week.
All right, guys, so this is the food TV. I used their recipe. I added, took away, but I'll put what I did in the description. But I pretty much followed what they had. I just had a little bit more cauliflower. I did one of those bag ones from Costco, and it's like 30, I think it's 32 ounces. But I've already had a little taste. These are amazing, and it was super easy to do. This is our creamy chantilly chicken thighs that I did. They actually only took about 20 minutes in the oven once I transferred it into that. And then these are my homegrown green beans that I canned up. I have a video on that. I'll make sure to link that in the description and up in the cards. And I sauteed some onion, red pepper, and a little bit of bacon and let it cook while all this was going. And that's what's for dinner. So guys, I've got my preps done. All I have to do is put this ground up chili taco flavored turkey meat in my bag I've got right here. That's the last one. I had forgot I had purchased a cabbage up at Whole Foods, so I've already cut it up. It will go with our chicken, peppers, and sausage deal. All we do is saute that on the griddle. My beef with teriyaki is thawing out, and I'll add some broccoli florets to that. And then I've got my Honey Crisp pork tenderloin, getting happy. That one I think I'm going to do a baked potato with, and maybe bake some apples. I don't know quite yet what I'll do with that one, but since all my other work is done for me, I've got it all in my little pan. It's sitting in my refrigerator, and dinner's done for this week. So it's just reheating, which is quick and easy, and maybe throwing a couple sides together. The only other thing I might do is make a little cucumber tomato balsamic salad to have in the refrigerator. But that's it. It's done. I can start the week and know that dinner will be on the table. So I hope you felt inspired. Do you have any of these kind of go-to type recipes that you use week in, week out? Do you ever do a Saturday big cook or big prep day to make your weekly task a little bit easier? And I hope you'll give this a try. I cannot wait to taste it. It smells amazing, super easy to put together. And really it didn't take very long at all. So I am so happy that I spent this time doing this. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.